Welcome to my low-budget local room.
你干嘛？为什么在衣柜里？
Everyone knows that China has the strictest censorship in the world, and it has been getting worse over the last 5 years. I know there are hundreds of reasons for such policy, but today, I'll focus on how citizens are faring in such environment. First, let's see what websites and services are banned in China. Google is banned. Steam is quite slow in China, and I can confirm its community page such as workshops are not working for some reason. Many other services are also banned too, including Pornhub, Zoom, Wikipedia, Netflix, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, WhatsApp, Dropbox, Reddit, and the list goes on. Many would think that such a country would be a living hell on earth, but how exactly do Chinese people get by in such a place? The fact is, they're doing surprisingly well. People understand their situation pretty clear. Chinese censorship, politics, and social issues are openly discussed on the internet by billions of people. No one cares about their social credits. An example of people on the internet pushing the government could be seen during pandemics. People initially tend to obey the government because they trust that CCP would make them proud, and they did so in the earlier stage of the COVID-19 outbreak. However, towards the end of the pandemics, the Chinese government continued to enforce a zero-COVID policy for a long time, combined with the questionable health code which may have connections to corruption. As a result, economic pressure and the protesting people ultimately pushed the government to lift the zero-COVID policy. The firewall is not impenetrable either. In the past year, most Chinese social media have been required to mark which city each comment and discussion on the internet comes from, but people make fun of it by using VPNs to switch their displayed location to anywhere in the world. Although VPNs are banned in China and it is technically illegal, everyone knows that VPNs exist and they wouldn't hesitate to use them when they want to access certain websites. That is the reason why you can see so many Chinese are having YouTube and Instagram accounts, and some of them are doing really well. It's very unlikely for common people to get into trouble in China. Even when they talk shit about their government, the worst thing that could happen is their comment might get removed, which is pretty similar to Western social media platforms like Twitter. There are other restrictions that you may already know. Some keywords and combinations are not searchable and not allowed to be published on social media whatsoever. For example, Pop Bear is searchable on Baidu, but when combined with Xi Jinping, the search engine simply wouldn't show any results. Even for Chinese citizens, sometimes it's quite amusing to see how Chinese government tries so hard to protect their leader's personal image, like a child demanding his friends to not make fun of him. While the Western countries make fun of their own leaders all the time. Even though certain keywords are forbidden, but language is such a beautiful thing that if people genuinely want to discuss a specific topic, they can always find an alternative word to avoid the censorship. In addition, the Chinese government allows people to travel freely between countries, which means that if people are tired of the censorship, they're 100% free to leave and won't face any trouble when they return, unless they're criminals, of course. So where does the censorship strikes the hardest? The real impact of the censorship is felt in the media. Being an influencer or a celebrity in China, one must be cautious about what they say. The line is very clear. Any direct accusation or questioning toward the CCP will not be allowed to upload or get instant takedown. The same applies to games, movies, TV shows, and many other forms of entertainment. There can be no criticism of the government on media. The only thing they can tell are new policies, activities, and achievements. For international news, just like the United States can't stop blaming China, similarly, the US is portrayed as an evil mastermind in Chinese news too. Also, toward other countries, they usually report negative info. It doesn't stop there. Gore reasons, body exposure, keywords related to blood and death are forbidden. And the LGBTQ individuals are not encouraged to be displayed on mainstream media. Many content creators in China even blur the nipples of men just to be safe. In video games, anything related to sensitive keywords mentioned above is also forbidden. A classic example is in World of Warcraft, where after a player character is revived from death, their corpse will become bones. However, in Chinese server, they become gravestones. Skeletons are not allowed to be shown in the video games too. Instead, they are all replaced with packages or covered in flesh. Gore is also fixed in some way or another. Did you know that in Chinese video games, blood can be any color except red? So to conclude, the censorship is not as bad as one would imagine. China is definitely not a jail or hell on earth. There is freedom of speech to a certain extent. And all the internet is accessible if you know how to get around the firewall. On the other hand, sure, people can use VPN to play games on foreign servers and access Western internet, but they have to endure high latency and rely on VPN all the time. Also, imagine being exposed to such high amount of government propaganda. Even if you don't care at all, it will eventually influence your mind. If you try telling a mainland Chinese person that Taiwan, Hong Kong, or Tibet is an independent country, and you can instantly see their faces become twisted in anger. If you dare to say that in public, man, I can't guarantee your safety and you will never be welcome again. The name of any of these locations can trigger the hardest adrenaline rush in a Chinese person. Even their nationality is not Chinese anymore. That's the true power of Chinese censorship and propaganda. To be fair, every country has its own censorship and propaganda system. None of them are trustworthy. It's just Chinese government choose to put it on table. Whether people need such censorship is still a subject of debate among the Chinese. Thanks for watching. Please like and
subscribe, motherfucker.
I'll see you in my next video.